Drop it like a... Yo, what's up Beatbox fam, and welcome to episode 2 of my Beatbox patterns tutorial series on my channel, where I not only teach you how to do individual sounds, but how to string them together into the epic routines of your favorite beatboxers. So in case you haven't already seen episode 1, in that episode we learned the first drop of Zer0's You Better Go 100% routine, which he did against NaPoM, also in the GBB 2020 online edition, and he also did that performed it in a Swiss Beatbox shoutout as well. So I'll link all 3 of those with this video too, if you want to check that out. So just like we did in that last episode, we're going to go through each sound of the pattern one by one in order, and I'll briefly teach you how to do them as well, or at least just give you the name of them so you can then search for a separate tutorial, because there's plenty on YouTube that go into more detail. And again, as I did in the last video, I will put a little key on screen for like what I'm gonna denote each sound by, like what letters, so that at the end I can put them all together in like a script that you can follow along in your own time, and I'll give you any sort of tips and tricks I can think of along the way. In this episode we're going to be learning the first drop of Zer0's It's Cold Outside routine, which he did versus Vocodah in the GBB 2020 online edition final. And he also has a shout out where he performs this for Swiss Beatbox, and I'll link both of those videos so that you can listen to his performances before learning. But what I'm going to be teaching is that first set that you just heard in the intro of this video. So let's get into it. So just like I did in the first episode of this series, I'm going to start off by giving you an idea of the basic structure of the beat by just doing the fundamental drums, so the kick and the snare. So just those sounds without any of the extra added stuff sounds like this. Drop it like a... So the full beat is just that, but with a lot of extra added stuff in between, which sound like... Those are basically the 4 sounds that we're going to get into now. So the first sound of this pattern is the inward kick. There aren't actually any outward kicks in this pattern, and there's a reason for that, so that it helps you alternate between the other sounds that come in later on. So to do the inward kick, first you want to put your mouth in the Liproll position, like you would go, or just, and then you're going to keep your lips closed, suck in, and then release the pressure, and that gives you that pop. So that's the inward kick. Second sound is the outward hollow lip oscillation. So to do that, just breathe out like anyone can do, like when they're tired, just flap your lips. And then you're going to hollow your throat, which is like lowering your Adam's apple, which opens out your throat. It's like going from... And then as you do that, try and focus the vibration somewhere on your lips. You can do either side or even in the middle. I do mine on the same side as the Liproll. So far you've got... So that's why you want to do the inward kick, because if you do an outward kick, it's going to be harder to go... Because you don't want to adjust... You want the... Okay? So the third sound is inward OD bass. So if you can already do a click roll, think of it like in an inward hollow click roll. So a click roll is where you're breathing in air and letting your tongue vibrate on the roof of your mouth. So you can do that tongue middle or side. I do mine curled to the side. So that's the bit that vibrates for me. And then you hollow it out, so you go. So far you've got... So you've got inward kick, outward hollow, inward OD. Then you've got another outward. So you've probably already started to notice a pattern. We're basically alternating a sound with the every time, because they're like our hi-hats. So instead of a, it's so far you've got, then you're going to do inward OD followed by outward hollow again. So do twice. So far you've got 6 sounds. So after those 6 sounds, it's the first 2 again. Inward kick followed by outward hollow. So those 8 sounds together. After those 8, you've got your first snare. In particular, the inward K snare. And as I said in the last episode of this series, this sound kind of deserves its own tutorial. But if I had to describe it really quickly, it's like doing an outward, it's like the same place where you do your outward duck sound, but inward. And yeah, if you can't do that already, you're going to want to look that one up. And then just like the rest of the beat so far, you're going to alternate that with another. So you've got. So all that together. So you'll see if I move my hand this way for inward sound and that way for outward sound, it's like this. So a little note here, all these sounds you can do while breathing, but as you get faster and you strengthen your muscles to do them, you end up not really needing to breathe, and it's almost all just with the air that's in your mouth, like the suction. So that's something you might want to note. But if you're just learning this, you can start off by breathing, but as you get faster, you won't get out of breath when you do it. So last little bit of this section that I'm going to split this beat into is after the, you've got, so that's inward OD followed by outward hollow, inward kick followed by outward hollow, and then inward OD, outward hollow again. So, including from the, you've got. So all of that from the start goes like this, slowly. So what you've just learnt so far is like the base of the pattern, because what you've got next is like a fill with Liprolls, and then it's that bass exactly the same again, and then a different fill. So here's that fill now. So it sounds like. So let's first learn the. So what this is a normal lip roll. So that's like you put your mouth in the lip roll position, and then instead of breathing in with your lungs to get the, you're just using the air in your mouth to do the same lip roll vibration as you suck in air. So you've got followed by. So that's the same as the hollow outward, but without breathing, just like you did the inward, just like you did the without breathing, it's the same thing but outward. Just push out the air that's already in your mouth while you're doing, and you get. So you chain those two together, and you get. So to get from to the last two is the same thing but hollow now. So instead of going, if you hollow that, you get. So the very last one, that's the only one that you're actually breathing with. So those three aren't using my lungs, and then just the at the end that uses my lungs. But as I said earlier, when you start doing this faster and faster, all four of them you don't really use much air at all, and it's just you can just do it again and again really fast without getting out of breath. And you're going to do that little lip roll fill twice. So you're doing like 4 pairs of 2. So if I count how many pairs of 2 I do, it's... So after that little fill, it's back to the kind of normal type of sounds that we were learning earlier. So just to finish off this first half, you've got... So yeah, we're still alternating an inward sound with... So what it is after the... is first inward K Snare, and then it's our favourite inward OD again, and then this is my favourite part, it's just 2 inward kicks straight after one another, and it actually becomes 3 in a row because of how the next half starts. But let's just do that first half on its own now. So at slow speed, drop it like a... I'll do my hand movements again. So drop it like a... So, well done if you made it this far. That's the first half of the set, and you've already learnt most of the second half, because it's, as I said, it's just that first bass group of sounds that I taught for the first half. So now I'll chain together the first half with the bass again. So drop it like a... So as you will have heard there, when you chain the start of the second half with the first half, you end up getting 3 kicks in a row, alternating with the... It's just like... And that's my favourite part. I think it sounds pretty cool. So now, only thing left is the final fill at the very end, which is again with Liprolls again, but slightly different to the first one. So the very end of the pattern sounds like this. That's it. So you've already encountered the sounds that we use for this. It's just normal Liproll, followed by the outward, well, just the hollow lip oscillation, because you're not breathing out, just the... Followed by inward kick, and then just that twice, so that again, so... And finish off with the inward K Snare. The main difficulty with this second fill isn't the sounds or the speed, it's the timing of it, because it's sort of like kind of like an offbeat kind of thing, which makes it sound cool, and also contrasts with the rest of it, which is very tight and strict. So now let's do the full pattern together with the script in slow time. By the way, it's pretty hard to do this really slow after you've practiced it fast for a while. So if I'm still not getting slow enough for you, you can use the cog in the YouTube player in the settings and reduce the video playback even more, or speed it up if you want to practice it a bit faster. So now it's time for the full set from start to finish, both halves. Here we go. Drop it like a... So there you have it, that's the full beat from start to finish. I hope this helped you, hope you learned some things, and if you did, let me know in the comments. Also give me feedback of what went well and what I could do better next time, and also give me your requests of what kind of beats and patterns, combos you want me to teach in the future. I already have quite a lot planned, but any that you give me I'll add to my list. Also got a lot more covers, and also maybe 1 or 2 original routines finally coming from me that I'll be putting up on the channel soon. Still got to practice and perfect them, but yeah, stay tuned for all that, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace!